All right, let's get this squared away. Never a big fan of this. Again, learning how to do all this fun stuff, going live. Guys, what's going on? It is TCARP. Want to talk to you today about how I got started in prepping. Went by my local coffee shop here where I live, the Beard Brothers Coffee Company. Phenomenal coffee, by the way. So, phenomenal coffee. I'm going to start some chats, some live chats just to do it, just to hang out with you guys, and just to see if anybody wants to listen. If not, heck, it's just me ranting, getting things off my head. So, how I got started in prepping. Back in the early 2000s, I graduated high school in 2007, I believe. Yes, 2007. So 2008, the crap totally hits the fan with the markets and all that, and to be honest with you, I don't really remember it that well. As in, again, I was just getting out of high school. Going to college. I know everybody was trying to get into college back then, and it was just a little bit different. I worked at Walmart, and I was a cashier. I was a grocer, and I really didn't pay attention to it. Fast forward a few years, I'm in the middle of college, and I'm working at a place called Vitamin World. Now, the vitamin industry is really interesting. You learn a heck of a lot about the FDA, the Food and Drug Administration, and what they deem, and what you can say and what you can't say. So I sold a lot of supplements and stuff like that helped a lot of people, and a lot of people loved what vitamins can do for you, and how healthy they can really help you get. Anyway, being in that industry really coincides with the prepping industry, or the kind of alternate news, alternate way of lifestyle, alternate living stuff. And it was and that got me started in it. And I would listen to things, like Alex Jones back in early 2008, and that was when, Obama was just coming on the scene. You had a few years of President Bush, and this guy, Alex Jones, was telling me that Bush was terrible. And I'm like, what is this crazy guy? And then you start hearing things like, talking about 9/11 and stuff like that. And it's like, whoa, this is, I'm rah-rah-ree, kick him in the knee, pro-America. I had friends that had signed up for war and all that stuff. And I was like, there's no way, this guy's totally out there. And then I started doing some research for myself, and I'm like, oh man, 3 buildings fell and all that stuff. And it just kind of started paving the way for me to look at things a little differently. And I started to see that the United States was, back then, I think 11 or 12 trillion dollars in debt. And I thought to myself, man, if we're running on a deficit, basically every single year we're getting in more and more debt. Let's pretend that we just didn't have any more debt, like we were running a quote-unquote balanced budget, like zero. We're not getting in debt anymore. We're still $11 trillion in debt. And I was like, could you imagine us running a $1 trillion surplus? Like, we're actually paying back the debt, let's say we paid $1 trillion back a year. We're still 12 years into this. Now we're 20, I don't know, who knows how many trillions of dollars we're in debt. And I started thinking, I was like, that's going to come due one day. And that's how I got into prepping. And I started, just like with every prepper, we get this, we want to go and we want to be this, get all the guns thing, like, oh, I gotta have an AR-15, and I gotta have my Glock, and I gotta have this, and I gotta have that, because man, the zombie apocalypse is coming, and that's the way the prepping is going to be. And it's good to have guns, and it's sexy to have guns in the prepping community. It is not sexy to learn how to garden. It is not sexy to learn how to financially prepare if it doesn't hit the fan. It's not sexy to learn how to live on less than you make. Teach your kids about Christ. Do all those fun things. It's not sexy to do those things. And that's what's taken me years to learn how to do. A lot of preppers will tell you, oh, you have to buy gold and silver and all that stuff. And I'm a big fan of Such. And he was big into the prepping stuff. And I went to one of his prepping conferences. And what you'll notice is a lot of those guys are good folks. They're great folks. But a lot of your big name stuff, like Alex Jones, like all these people that are telling you to buy gold, are the one. By the way, go to their website and so you can buy the gold with actual money. So it's a little different. My philosophy now when it comes to prepping has been more of the Dave Canterbury style, and he is more into bushcraft, survivalism, all that. So basically, going back to the 1800s style of thinking. And that's like, okay, if the electricity turned off and you only had to rely on yourself and what grew out in the woods and what you could do, how could you do it? And it's like raising animals, being able to start a fire, being able to make things off the landscape. That, in my opinion, is a better way to look at things than old school or get all the guns prepping. So again, and it's not sexy, it's just the way I think and feel, and I do recommend his stuff. But anyway, that's how I got started into prepping. Worked at a vitamin store, did all that, and it was, you know, it was how I got started. And I love vitamins still to this day. I know that's kind of weird, but anyway. Well, that's enough of me ranting for today. If you guys need anything or want to talk, give a like, thumbs up, share the chat. Love you guys. Y'all be good.